Hi everyone. So I hope you're all okay today. This is super important information linked to our US tariff webinar yesterday, so please do listen. What I couldn't say in the webinar yesterday is that we were in the process of trying to schedule a call with Royal Mail's senior team for an update on where they're at with their preparations for those changes at the end of this month, and I couldn't mention it in case it didn't happen. But I'm delighted to say that we were able to have that call this morning with one of their senior managers, who is actually leading on the US tariff work. And we were able to get a lot more clarity, which is amazing because we know from yesterday that Royal Mail is a major carrier for so many of you. So I can confirm without a shadow of a doubt, whatever anybody else is saying out there, that Royal Mail will not, I repeat, will not be using the flat rate structure. I can't speak for other postal operators or carriers using the postal system because with less than a month to prepare, it's highly doubtful that everyone is going to be ready. So some may still have to use the flat rate fee, but that is not Royal Mail. So let's talk specifically about what Royal Mail are doing and what they've prepared. So we know that US Customs, or the Border Control or Border Customs Protection, as I referred to them yesterday, are demanding that duty is prepaid, so paid in advance of parcels arriving at customs, and parcels arriving that haven't had their duty paid will not be accepted. So Royal Mail is extending its Deliver Duty Paid, or its PDDP service. Currently, that's available for shipments to some EU member states. But they're now extending it to cover the US. So that will allow Royal Mail customers to prepay the duty on US shipments to so that goods going into the US can clear customs swiftly. So I'm putting the link to the website here where they share the products that'll be available via I can't speak today, DPPD service. So what does that mean for you as a Royal Mail customer? Well, that'll depend on whether or not you've got an account with Royal Mail. So I'll cover that off first. So if you are a Royal Mail account customer, so you have an account with Royal Mail, and you want to use DPPD, I've done it wrong again, PDDP, you will have the accurate duty calculated on your goods by Zonos, which is the partner that Royal Mail have chosen for their customs duties calculation and remittance. So Zonos will calculate the duty on your shipment. They'll invoice Royal Mail. Royal Mail would invoice you as their business customer. Now, Royal Mail recommends that you account for the duty payable. So use one of the duty-free calculators I referred to yesterday, just so you can easily understand your Royal Mail charges, which come through monthly, I think, just so you can understand what they are. Now, you can either contact Royal Mail now and ask for them to add DPPD to your account, or if you've shipped to the US in the last 6 months, they're going to be adding that product to your account anyway. So it may be that there's nothing for you to do. Now, if you don't have a Royal Mail account, it's not a problem. So Royal Mail is updating its click and drop service to include its US PDDP service, and I'm providing a link to that service here. Now, this will calculate and charge the relevant duties at the point of you booking for that collection, or say you take that parcel to the post office. So you know exactly what it costs to send that parcel to your customer. And I believe, like I say, that you can either have Royal Mail collect it or you can drop it off at the post office. Now, Royal Mail are working at warp speed to have that service adapted for the 29th. So adapt their click and collect service ready for the 29th, but there might be a short delay. So we'll try and keep you posted on that one. Posted, no pun intended. Now to the good stuff. So because Royal Mail is not using the flat rate, but rather the ad valorem method that I mentioned yesterday, your UK origin goods will be subject to just a standard 10% duty, which is the Trump tariff we talked about yesterday, which will be based on the price of your item and Royal Mail's postage fees. So if you're sending that £100 item that we talked about yesterday and Royal Mail charge you, say, £8.95 for shipping, your duty will be £10.90 and your landed cost, so that's everything your customers pay, will be £119.85. Similarly, those lovely creatives on the call yesterday that are making those wonderful bespoke greeting cards, say you sell your bespoke greeting card for £5, your duty might be in the low pounds or the pence category. So say your card is £5, Royal Mail charge £2.50, then the duty could be as low as 75 pence. Okay, so this is significantly different to how the fast parcel operators will value your goods, as they have to calculate the duty based on not just Trump's tariff, that 10%, but also on the product's existing tariff. You remember I referred to that yesterday as the MFN tariff, and potentially additional other duties like anti-dumping duties. So I think this is good news. Personally, I'm going to sleep a lot better tonight. As all goods must now go duty paid, there might be some small handling charges that Royal Mail aren't aware of that are charged in the US. I'm sorry, you can hear my email pinging there. They're trying to get a handle on those right now. They've got guys over in the US at the moment, and their aim is to wrap those up into kind of like a standard fee sensibly at this end, but they're not going to be able to confirm any new postal pricing until next week. Now, if you're on platforms like Etsy or eBay or so on, Royal Mail is actively working with them to make sure that their systems can handle the changes so that your trade is as uninterrupted as little as possible. Now, back to the de minimis suspension for a minute. There's also talk of some exemptions. I can't really get a handle on that, but some people are saying that books and records and CDs and so on may be outside of the suspension of de minimis. So we're trying to get some clarity on that. We'll update you in due course. So what do we tell our customers? Well, I think definitively we can now say if their goods, again, UK origin goods, are being posted via Royal Mail, they'll face a single 10% duty based on the price of the product and what it costs to ship the product to them. I would personally, if they were my customers, I would also, in the interest of transparency, say to them, there could be delays in getting their goods to them. Not down to you, not down to Royal Mail, but rather I personally can't see how the US Postal Service is going to deal with the volume that these changes are going to introduce. And finally, what I would say, and I can't remember if I said this yesterday, we're still only at the 14th of August, and Trump has been known to change his mind at the last minute and grant extensions. I mean, we've heard rumours of legal challenges that if they were successful, it might result in the suspension of the de minimis threshold being lifted, but it will never go back to that $800 threshold, I don't think. Personally, I prefer that my clients kind of don't take this for granted and instead hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So everyone, I really hope this is helpful, and I'm truly sorry I couldn't share this yesterday. Things are moving at such a fast pace and we're working like crazy people to support different businesses, lots of small businesses that are facing awful challenges on lots of different fronts at the moment, not just those relating to the US. I've updated the slides from yesterday's webinar to reflect everything I've mentioned, so that should tally with this brief recording. So yeah, thanks for your time, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.